Hello everyone, I'm Vera Worthington. I'm going to roll my sleeves up, and I wanted to thank you all for joining me today. We are going to be painting a wildflower field landscape, and I guess your first question might be like, do you look at any references? And I just have to tell you, yes, but I don't follow any references. I look at them before I start painting, and I get an idea in my head, like, okay, I think what I'm going to do today is, put a sky up here and then some mountains and maybe some bushes or trees, and then I'm going to do my wildflower fields. But before I start, I want to show you these great brushes that I have. These are called Deerfoot brushes. Something a little different. This is a 1/4 inch Princeton Select Deerfoot brush. It's, when you look at it straight on, it looks round, but at an angle, the bristles have been abruptly cut off at an angle. So this is a great tool to use for tamping down on your page. And this is another Deerfoot brush. This one is 3/8 of an inch or 9.5 millimeters. And this is another Select Princeton brush. Princeton, yeah, Deerfoot, it says it right there, Deerfoot. So these two brushes I think are really terrific. I will add a link in the description of this YouTube video so that you can go over to Amazon and buy one of these yourself. That's exactly where I got mine. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, first thing I just want to mention is I have a bunch of Ranger greens here. I'm just going to shake them up real quick. And all I'm going to do is start dripping and dropping some of these greens. So this one here is willow. Okay, willow, and what's this guy? This is lettuce. Let us pray. Let us pray that this comes out good for all of you. Okay, so this is meadow. Now I might change where some of the colors are later on. Right now I'm just getting some color down. This one is Everglades. This one's kind of dark, so I might want to concentrate that in a couple of areas so that way, we can create some depth to this. Like, I think I want it a little more in the background. By the way, do you see these little drips and drops? This is exactly why I'm doing the sky later, because otherwise I would have had drips and drops all over my sky. That's why I do that later. So, just in case you're wondering. And I have bottle too. I don't think I'm going to be using bottle right now. So I have a couple of jars of alcohol on the side up here, and I'm just dipping my brush into that alcohol. And now I'm going to start tamping down to blend out those colors a little. I just want to get color all over my page. By the way, this is 5 by 7 inches, and I am using Dura-Bright from GRAFIX. This is this comes in a 9 by 12 pad, and I just trimmed it down to a 5 by 7 so you wouldn't be watching me paint all night, just for part of the night. Or morning. Good morning if you're watching in the morning. So I'm just using this to tap, 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 tap. I'm going to dip this in alcohol again because I want to reactivate some of these areas here. I find that this is a great brush to use to get like little suggestions of leaves. It's not exactly a leaf, but it's a suggestion of a leaf. And this whole piece is going to be somewhat impressionistic. It's going to be the impression of wildflowers. It's not going to be, you know, we're not painting like each and every little petal. We're not painting each and every little leaf. We're just getting the suggestion. Okay, so now if you can see here, I'm starting to get like some little sort of leafy little things happening. When you come back in with a slightly wet brush in areas that are dry, you'll start getting little white spots. It's not exactly white, it's kind of gray, kind of green. Some areas, like these dark areas here, probably don't want too much texture. There's a hair in here. Oh, that's one thing that I hate about this brush, is that the bristles tend to fall out a little. See, there's one right there. They just fall out. So you have to go in and pick them out. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, you want to leave some dark areas so that way you get a little depth. Like some flowers are coming forward, some are being pushed back. I'm lightly dipping that into my alcohol and I'm blotting on my paper towel. Did you see how much of that alcohol just spread out and about? Yeah, see, I want this even drier. See, now we got like a little area that has like a white spot in it. But as it dries, we could blend that out a bit. My high school art teacher said the greatest thing to me ever when I was in high school. He said to me, there are no mistakes in art, there are only opportunities. Isn't that great? I love that phrase. That is my absolute favorite phrase in art, because after all, we're working with alcohol ink. There's always like mistakes to be made. But is it really a mistake or is it an opportunity? And I think a lot of the time with alcohol inks, it turns into opportunities. Because let's face it, when we start out painting something with alcohol inks, it's not always exactly what we wanted. You know, things evolve with alcohol inks. Things change, especially abstracts. Boy, when you set out to do one thing and you get something completely different, sometimes it's an opportunity. It's not a mistake. I just want you to keep that in the back of your head, everybody. There are no mistakes in art, only opportunities. All right? You can thank my art teacher for that one. His name is Dan Christoffel. He was amazing. I loved that guy. He taught me so much and I still think about him to this day. So anyway, now that I've kind of tamped in all of my greens, I want to start putting in some colors. And I'm going to take a number 2 brush. This is another Princeton Select Round. You can go into the description of this video and see my list of brushes that I recommend. Okay, so just dipping that into a little bit of alcohol, and I'm going to start just lightly dotting in some areas here. All I'm doing is lifting out some ink. Now I know you all were hoping for quick shortcuts to put in some color. There are some, depending on how dark your color is. If your color is pretty light, like a yellow, this is what you gotta do, guys, because I want to put some yellow flowers in the front here. You know what? I think pink flowers might even be better in the front, you know, so that way we could really, really see them. Now notice I'm dipping in the clean alcohol and I'm blotting on my paper towel before I put it down, because look what just happened. If you don't blot it enough, it starts spreading out. So that's why I'm keeping my Deerfoot brush handy, so I can kind of tap that out a bit. I have a little green in this palette, and remember my brush is just a little bit wet, so I'm going to go in and add back some green. So it's not really a mistake that I made. It was just to show you how to fix that if you have too much alcohol on your brush. It's totally fixable. Okay, so blot on your paper towel, guys. That's how you get more control over your deliberate little dots of ink, right? Is that a good tip? So I'm just randomly putting in some little dots. I love this little dark area that's happening there and here. But we can go back in and lift out some of that ink. And I'm gonna go up in here because I think this is where I'm gonna put my yellows. I want my yellows to pop out and I want there to be some contrast. So I'm putting the yellows in a darker area over here as opposed to this light area here. I think using like a fuchsia color there would really make those flowers pop. Now, I was studying some wildflower fields, just photos of them that I found on Pinterest or Pixabay, which is a free photo download app. Pixabay, Pixabay, for all you who don't know about Pixabay. Look, blot, now dot. There's also Unsplash or Upsplash. It's one of those. Unsplash, Upsplash. Gosh, I can't remember. Apologies, guys. And apologies to whoever made that app that I'm butchering the name of your app. But you could download free photo references from those apps. And I love that you can do that. I've gotten so many great references from them. Everything from animals to butterflies to landscapes. And you know, when you're doing a landscape, you're looking at the photo, but it's not coming out like the photo. It's just for reference, just for inspiration. And it's actually better when it turns into something else, I feel. And then I'm going to put a few over here into this dark area. I might even put yellow in this dark area here, just so that they really pop out. This is that area where I screwed up before, can you tell? When I put a bunch of flowers in there, you'll never know. Just make sure your brush isn't all that wet when you do this. Dip, blot, dot. And just, you know, wipe now and then on your paper towels. You see how I'm getting all these dots of the green? That's because I'm lifting out the green. And now I'm making room for all these beautiful little wildflowers. He's getting excited. Are you excited? I hope you're excited. I'm excited. That's all that matters, right? I'm excited. I love doing this. It's just, you know, such an organic kind of flow. There's no right or wrong way, blah, 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 to do this. getting a little tongue-tied because I'm so excited here. No right or wrong way to dotting your flowers. This is your wildflower field. You can do this however you want. You can make it with whatever color flowers you want. I mean, really, I guarantee you that if you try this and you share it within the alcohol ink techniques group, you are not going to see two pieces alike. They're all going to be so different. And I can't wait to see what you do. Please tag me, Vera Worthington, in the alcohol ink techniques group. I am dying to see what you do. It's one of my favorite things as a contributor for the Alcohol Ink Art Society. I'm sorry, the Alcohol Ink Art Community. The Society is a special little group. But anyway, one of my favorite things about being a contributor is seeing the projects that people make after my video instruction. Oh man, I love to see what people do. And you know what? No two are ever alike, because everybody's hand is different. And you know what? That's okay. Your art should not look like mine. It can resemble it. That's cool. But don't make it look like mine. Make it a little different. Make it your own. All right, let's start painting in some flowers. I'm getting too excited here. What are we going to start with? Let's start with, how about this color? Fiesta. This is a beautiful hot pink. I'm just going to get the dust out of here. Okay. Are we dust free? Are we ready? Now, one thing I want to tell you guys is, look, my art is here, my palette is here. Pour away, away, I'll say it again, away from your art. Do not go in this direction because you might get some spillage on your art. With something like this, it might be okay because we're doing wildflowers, right? And we're dotting in our wildflowers. So if I were to get a drip of the pink in there, that might be okay. But if you're doing something else, oh, one little dot can ruin an area. So just trust me, pour your ink away from your art, not towards it. So now I'm going to take my round number 2 brush, and in those areas that I lifted some ink, I'm just dropping in little dots of ink. So we're going to make this whole area over here pink. That's my big secret. Just dot it in. It's not that big of a secret, guys. You could wiggle your brush a little to make a little round circle. Now, because I looked at a bunch of wildflower references, I think this is what I was starting to say earlier, on Pinterest and Pixabay, because I looked at all these references earlier, I noticed that a lot of the wildflower fields had clusters of colors. It wasn't like pink and yellow and blue and green and, you know, it wasn't all like different colors in one area. It was sort of a concentrate of one color per area. So I'm going to travel up. We're going to do different colors. So I think I'm going to keep this area over here pink. You know, there might be a stray yellow flower or blue flower in there somewhere. And keep them random. Don't make them too perfect looking. Maybe overlap a couple. Let's overlap it. I think when it's more random, it's more interesting. Because after all, nature is random, right? Okay, so my ink is drying out a little bit, which is okay because I'm gonna go on to another color. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse my brush. I have the dirty alcohol jar in the back, the sort of dirty in the middle, and then I have the clean one. I just want to get this brush really clean because I want to go on to yellow next. Let's get some yellow. Here's my yellow palette. And guys, reuse your palettes. Like, these are so cheap too. You can get like a package of, I don't know how many, 5 maybe? 5 of these little plastic palettes at, I think, Dollar Tree for like $1. Like 5 of them for $1. Don't wash them out each time. Reuse them. You know, like, this is always my yellow, that's always my orange, that's always my denim, that's always my pink sherbet, you know? It's like, just reuse them. Okay, let's get some yellow over here. Now, because I lifted that bit of green, my yellow's showing up really nice. See, that started to blend a little? No mistakes. Only opportunities. Right? What was that movie or show or something where somebody was like, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. Well, you know, sometimes with art you could fake it a little. I meant to do that. I think the more random, the better. And I'm going to put some yellows over here too. Maybe 2 snuck up over here. Maybe 3. Why not? 4. 5. Maybe this whole area is yellow. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I want to put some pink in there. I don't know. Okay, so now we have our yellow. Let's do, let's do red next. Oh boy, I have caps here and bottles, and, well, I can see inside this cap. That looks pink, but I want to show you a trick. I take my brush, dip it in clean alcohol, and swish it around inside the cap. Oh, I thought that was pink in there. That's actually yellow. And what about this one? This might be the pink one. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I'm not screwing those tight on yet. I'm just putting them on loose and moving them aside so that the caps don't get lost. With the greens, I put the caps right next to the bottles. This one here is crimson. This is a great red. I love this red. Kind of looks like that. Remember, pour your bottle away from your art. Away. That way we don't get drips and drops. We're going to take some clean alcohol later and clean out those drops so that our sky doesn't get affected. Because we don't want streaks of green in our sky, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe you do, but I don't. Okay, here we go. Let's do some red. Where should we do some red? Well, how about this little patch that I started? Just lift a little of that away because it started spreading. We don't want this ink to spread too much. I'm going to make him a little rounder. See, just a quick little blot. And then I have a little bit more control over my little drop of ink here. Yeah, I think I'm really going to put in a lot more red in this area. I want this area to be a whole bunch of red flowers. Maybe if I tilt the brush and make it like a little V. Look at that. It's sort of looking like a little poppy, right? Just tilt the brush in the opposite direction. And now your little red flowers are poppies. Poppies. And they could overlap a little, that's cool. If you don't like the way a flower looks, you could always go back and touch it up a little. Just touch back into it. I think that's kind of nice. Oh, this red's getting thick. Okay, I have my little bottle of isopropyl alcohol with a little needle tip. I'm just going to add a couple of little drops in there. Loosen up that ink that's getting thick and sticky. And let's put some red over here. Let's have it kind of lead down like it's almost wants to say hi to these guys. They want to join hands, right? All their little flower species friends all hanging out together. So we're just making the suggestion of flowers. And then when you step back and take a look from a distance, oh yeah, I can see that from a distance it looks like a little meadow with some wildflowers growing. Lovely. Let's get some reds up here too, why not? Okay, so now we have some red going through here, some red filtering down through there. Maybe I'll just finish this one little area of red because I want to get a little purple in here too. And that's getting thick, so I'll just add a little drop. I need another little drop, maybe two. And don't be afraid to overlap some. So, you know, in the wild, they're not just next to each other, they're, you know, in front of each other, in back of each other. Let's get a little more interest over here. See, this one got a little dark because I didn't lift the green out. So, putting aside my brush, and I want to show you a FANTASTIX. This thing is fantastic. It has a foam tip, and what I'm going to do is just put it in my clean alcohol jar. Just leave it there for a few seconds, maybe, you know, 10-20 seconds max. I'm going to blot it on my page a little, but now I'm going to use it to dot in, ready, a few more lights so that when I touch in color, it'll stand out more, right? Let's see. I want a few more flowers over here. Kind of would like some going in this dark area too. Yeah, okay. Now the other thing this is great for is, watch this. I'm just making like a little scribble, see? Just some very light little strokes. And now I'm making some white flowers. Blot occasionally on your paper towel. And then we'll add some stems to that later with a marker. I have some alcohol ink markers that I like to use for details like stems. Let's keep some of these white flowers sort of close to each other. We don't want to spread them out too much. Maybe they're a little up in here too. You see, I'm just doing like a little scribble, you know, up and down, sort of VW, VW. Just write my initials, VW, VW. So here, we don't have to really do a lot with these. We just let them kind of be. Gonna lighten that just a little bit more. And maybe a stray one got over here, I don't know. How's that? I kind of like that. All right, let's go back to our red area. And now my red has gotten a little gummy. Ooh, and I got a little red in my blue. Oh, well, you know, that's what paper towels are for. Let's get that out of there before. Okay, good. Now we could do the sky with that later. And let's just finish this little area with a few more red dots. Dot, 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 dot. Yeah, this brush is real juicy. Okay, I think we have enough red for now. What color should we do next, guys? What do we like? Orange. We got orange and we got, let's see, we got Valencia and we got Vineyard. Now, anybody who really, really knows me knows I love purple. My favorite colors. My dog's name is Violet, because I thought purple was a dumb name for a dog. So her name is Violet. Okay, let's stir up that purple a little, and let's start making some purple flowers. Dot, 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 dot. Now, with the purple, because it's so dark, it'll take over some of the areas of green. You don't really have to be so diligent about wiping stuff away. See, I'm getting over here, I'm putting some dots right on the green, and it's still showing purple. If you try to do that with yellow or orange, it doesn't always work. That's why I lift some of those dots away. Let's overlap some of these. Let's start mixing a little bit of the purple in over here with the yellows. Just because, you know, they don't stay perfectly with all their other species of flower friends. They like to make friends and do a little mixing and mingling. I like to mix and mingle too. Okay, mix a little with those red flowers, and maybe it comes up here a little bit by the yellow guys. And I think I want to put some purple over here too. I think I need a drop of alcohol. I'll just mix that up. Let's travel these purple guys through to over here. Okay, I'm sort of digging this. What do you all think? That might be enough purple for now. Now I want to get some orange up here. Okay, and pour your ink away from your art. And after you make your art, please share in all the social media groups on Facebook. Share your art, tag me. Tag me in the alcohol ink techniques group. Tag me in the alcohol ink community group. Just put a few little drops of orange down there. Not too many. And when you tag me, say, Vera, I watched your video. It was kind of long, but I learned a lot. I know with those abstract pieces, man, some of you are fabulous with your abstract art. And you know, it's not such a secret, but I'm kind of secretly jealous of your abilities to make these wonderful, beautiful, wispy, abstracty things that, you know, people will actually pay money for instead of mine, which end up, you know, I cut them up and, I don't know, do other things with it, collage, or maybe make some little pendants out of it. But, you know, I have to be selective about it. But you guys, my God, your abstracts are fabulous. And you make them so fast. How do you do that? You do them so fast, and your videos are like 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 15. Sorry guys, but you know, when you're painting stuff, it takes time. I know this video is getting long, and I hope you're not bored, but it takes time. Just kind of travel around your piece and say, where do I need more orange? I definitely want to put some orange up here. I want a lot of little tiny dots. Dot, dot, dot. See, it's sort of mixing with the green. Don't worry about it. We are going to go back and dot in there again, and we'll get rid of some of that darkness. See, I'm just wiggling my brush a little in those dots, and now the orange is popping out a little more. I mean, really, this is why I take my brush, or in this case, now I'm doing the FANTASTIX. And these are really cheap. These are like $5-6 for a pack of 6. You get 3 with the pointed tip and 3 with the rounded tip. I know somewhere on this planet they sell a 6-pack of all the pointed tips. Maybe I'll look on Amazon for you guys and see if I could find it and add it in the description of this video so you can find it too. But these are not expensive, and they last a really long time. You could even cut this tip if you want to make a nice point again. We'll have some orange travel in over here. And then we'll get to this part up here. Maybe we'll add a little more orange down here. Yeah, I gotta loosen that up a little. Some people use blending solution to reactivate their inks. I don't. I just use plain isopropyl alcohol. Let's see, so up here we wanted to put more orange. There we go, now it's showing up a little better, now that I lifted some of that green off. How's that? Better, right? Yeah, definitely better. Still want to lighten up a little bit these dots here. Well, you know, if we have some dark ones, it's okay. It's nature. Maybe it's in the shadows, in the shade. Ooh, that one got kind of big for a flower in the distance. Wow. Oh well. Don't I look upset? It's nature. It can be random. It's okay. Let's see how that's looking. I like to hold my piece upright a little bit just so I can take a look. I think I want a little more orange over here. You know, it's not a bad idea to lift up your page every now and then, see how things are looking. You know, sometimes I get a little bit of a glare from my overhead lights. I have shop lights now. Ooh, shop lights. It's a brighter color. My videos come out clearer. They're not so yellow looking. The shop lights are kind of nice to have. And I got those on Amazon too. I got 4 of them and hung them around my studio. You know what? I am digging this. I'm loving how this is looking. What do you all think? Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'll put my brush away for now. Now, I want to take a big brush. Oof, get a Q-tip first. Let's get rid of this stuff. Now again, I think I mentioned before, this is GRAFIX Dura-Bright. And this stuff is great because it wipes back to white. Oh, do I love this. Look at that. Look. Those green little dots and drips that I got are gone. Totally gone. And just to prove a point, say I don't like this little area of green. Okay, I've wet it all with my Q-tip. Yeah, gone. Bye-bye. It lifts back to white. Isn't that nice? So if you're doing something and you don't like how it's coming out, Q-tips, clean alcohol, just wipe it away. That's what's so great about this white Dura-Bright. Now GRAFIX also makes craft plastic. Honestly, I'm not sure what the difference is other than the size. This was cut from a 9x12 sheet, and that other stuff comes in 12x12 sheets. So craft plastic comes in a slightly larger sheet, but the Dura-Bright comes in a pad. So I kind of like that it's in a pad and everything's all together and I could just stack them up on top of each other and it works great. Okay, so let's get to my blue. I want to just put in a little wash of a blue sky. Here's my sailboat blue. Just a couple of little drips. In fact, I'm going to add just a little bit of alcohol to that. I want to thin that out a little bit so it's a little bit lighter blue. Yeah, I need more alcohol here. I want a very light blue wash across the sky. Yeah, where's my alcohol? I put some alcohol right on there. Okay, now we'll let that dry a little bit, and then I think there's going to be some mountains back here. Let's see what we can do with some mountains. How about you know, I do love my purple, so why not do? I have indigo and I have denim. So we can create like a little depth with these colors to make those mountains. So let's see, let's put a little denim in the palette. Okay, and I have my number 8 brush, again, Princeton Select. One of my favorite nylon watercolor brush brands. And let's just get a little mountain peak. Just sketch that out in there. And maybe there's another little mountain here and a little valley or something. I don't know. Now don't worry about this bottom part here. See where I'm going up against that green? Don't worry about it. Yes, I'm from New York, in case you couldn't figure out my accent. Don't worry about it. Go with the flow. Forget about it. It's a little more Brooklyn than Long Island, where I'm from, but it's still funny. I love it. Okay, so that's one mountain, and I want to add some alcohol to this, and I want to make that a lighter denim blue color. I'm going to blot because I don't want, yeah, that looks pretty good. And this area, touching the green, don't worry about it. Dip my brush in the alcohol just so I can dilute whatever's left on my brush for like even lighter color here. It's like bleeding into this a little bit. We'll fix that. Get like a little depth going on there. Just a little. I want a harder edge here. In fact, I'm going to take this indigo color. I think I want the foreground mountain to be just a little bit darker. So here's that indigo. Let's fix this guy a little. Whoa, too much. That's okay, I'll make it work. Make it work. Like Tim Gunn from Project Runway. Has anybody watched that? Love that show. I used to be an accessory designer in the fashion industry. So I know how stressful those designers are with trying to make stuff in a short amount of time. Because in the fashion industry, we had to design stuff in a short amount of time. Now, art is definitely a pleasure because it's not as stressful. In fact, I don't think art is stressful at all. I think art is a pleasure. And guys, if art is stressful, stop doing it. Art should not be stressful. Art should be fun. Okay, so we have our little mountains. And now I'm sort of questioning this one. This one I think I might want to do a little bit more, a little bit darker. It's like maybe fading a touch too much, right? I'm going to turn my work upside down so I don't screw it up. Right up to that edge. See that? All right, we'll let that settle. Yeah, that's a little better. Ooh, this corner here, just a touch. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Mountains. Yeah. Now, one thing I want to try, and if it doesn't work, it's okay. Let's make these mountains a touch snow-capped. Can we do that? By lifting out some ink with the FANTASTIX. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool, huh? Yeah? A little snow-capped mountain. Neat, huh? Just a little. Let's not overdo it. And maybe just a little on this guy too. Just a couple little dots. It's November here on Long Island as I'm filming this, and it's been short sleeve weather. Really strange for November. And I know some of you in other parts of the world are getting snow already, like our friends in Canada. So this snow is for our friends in Canada and other parts of the northern USA who are getting snow right now. Snow. Okay. So now this area here, let's add in some trees. Now, where is my Everglades? Okay, I'm going to show you all the trick. Ready? I'm going to use this palette. Okay. Watch this. I'm going to use Everglades. In fact, I want to show you what Everglades looks like. I'm getting a scrap piece of paper here. I have a pile of scrap just clipped together on the side, and I want to show you what Everglades looks like. That's kind of bright, right? Okay, watch this. I'm going to take my Vineyard and I'm going to put a couple of drops of Vineyard into the Everglades. I think that's the Everglades cap. Was that it? Yeah, that's it. I don't know what cap that is. We'll figure that out later. But maybe we'll throw one more drop in there. So I have like maybe 3-4 drops of the Everglades, and I put a few drops of the Vineyard in there. Now here's my little scrap of paper. Watch. Look at how nice and dark that is. When you add a complementary color like red, it will get brown pretty quickly. But because I added the purple, which has red in it, but it still has blue in it, like the Everglades has blue, I'm getting a darker green out of it and nothing that's really brown. So this color is going to be great to put in some trees in the distance. How do you like that trick? Cool, right? So I'm just going to dance in a few little trees back here. Some little evergreens. And I want that dark color because I want these to really be pushed back in the distance. You know, I don't want there to be a lot of detail with these guys. I really want them back in the distance. Oh, we're just growing up, and now we're growing down. In fact, I'm going to use this really quickly to just block out the bottom, and then my trees are going to grow from there. And you don't have to put a lot of detail into these trees because the flowers are really the star of the show, right? But let's just suggest some little trees back there. Let those flowers be the star and let the trees just kind of wave hello. Hey, I'm back here, but you're the star. I'll just be over here if you need me. If you've seen my Aurora Borealis video on YouTube, you know that I can paint little teeny trees. And I love to paint little teeny trees. Go watch that video. It's Worthington Fine Art on YouTube. and I do a little tutorial for painting an Aurora Borealis, and I paint in teeny tiny little trees. Let's see, I'm just going to hold this up just to see if I need to fill in anything. Yeah, I'm just putting a few dots and dabs to darken stuff up. I'm going to bring this down here up just a little bit. But when you're driving around, or somebody else is driving you, even better, take a look at the shapes of trees by the side of the road. I'm always looking at nature and studying how things look and grow. I even take photos of trees sometimes, and I use it later on for my painting references. Okay, I had a 3:2 ratio in there. I'm going to just check my color quick on this card. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm not going to worry too much, but I'm just going to tilt this up a little just so I can see where some more trees need to grow from. And I'm going to dance in some branches. Dance, dance, dance. And maybe there's a tiny one in between. The tiny one got tall. Okay, this one will stay small. There, that one stayed small. A little tree dance. Dance, 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 dance. Oh, there's like these wildflowers on the edge of a pine forest. Sure, why not? That brush is a little too juicy, I think. And I'm going to tilt it up again and see where I need to maybe just refine stuff, fill in some more of this ink, which is now getting a little thicker. And when it's thicker, we can really fill in some areas that we want nice and dark. Dab, 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 little trees, dab, dab, dab. Yeah. I think this tree might need a little lightening up, or maybe it needs some lighter branches coming out. I don't know. That's all right. It's off to the side. It's not the star of the show. It's those flowers that star of the show. Now, speaking of the flowers that are the star of the show, I have a couple of alcohol ink markers. I'm using Ohuhu brand. I got these on Amazon. I'll also put that link in the description of this video for you so you can find them too. This one is number 42 and this one's number 43. And let's just take our little scrap paper and put a few strokes so you can sort of see the color there of 42, and now this is 43. This is a little brighter green, so let's start with a brighter green, because down here we really kind of want to see some of those stems, right? And maybe there's some grasses coming up. use this one on these. Yeah, I think I like this one a little bit better. It's not as bright. Now I like to do these little stems for mostly the foreground flowers, not so much background ones. I don't think the background ones really need it, honestly. When you're making art, do you think about, oh, I wonder if I could sell this? Or do you think about, who can I give this to as a gift? Or where can I hang this in my house? How do you think about your art as you're creating it? I end up selling a lot of my art, but I also give a lot of gifts too. I recently gave a wildflower painting to my godmother, my favorite godmother, who's also my aunt, and she just loved it. It's funny because I think to myself, like, ugh, you know, this person that I'm giving this to, are they really going to like it, or are they just going to be polite and say, oh, it's nice, Vera, thank you, or are they sincere? I hope they're sincere. But my godmother, I'm sure she was. She's wonderful. She's so creative. She sews, and her daughters are also artists, and I feel like I got a lot of creativity from her, from my mom too. But she cooks and she sews, and she's super talented. She went to FIT back in the day, like I went to FIT. I went for illustration, Fashion Institute of Technology. And then I ended up designing accessories. Who knew? And nowadays I'm sewing masks for the COVID pandemic. Fun. It's okay. I like sewing. It's fine. It's extra money, which I love, but I'm also loving that I'm keeping people safe. Gosh, nothing worse than being sick, and nothing worse than worrying about getting a virus that you don't know how it's going to affect you. You don't know if it's going to kill you. Ugh. Just awful, but at least I know that I'm doing a little bit to help people. You know, it's really nice that people trust me to sew masks for them to keep them healthy, because, you know, I'd love for everybody to just stay with us. I don't want to see more casualties here in the United States because of COVID. It's just terrible. Ugh. But on a lighter note, I'm almost done. What is this missing? Let's see. Should we make a bird or three? I think it needs some birds. What do you think? Let's get a Sharpie. Here's a fine point Sharpie, just making sure it's juicy. And when I put birds in, I like to make them a touch sketchy so that they look more bird-like rather than just a V. Like, make them look a little sketchy. You know, there's some personality when you make it a little sketchier, right? Yeah, I like those birds. And I'm gonna call this a painting. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you had fun watching me paint some wildflowers. And again, if you decide to paint a wildflower scene, please tag me in the Alcohol Ink Art community on Facebook, tag me in the Alcohol Ink Techniques group. And I think I'm going to offer this to the Techniques group as my 20,000 member celebration video. So anyway, everybody, thank you all for joining me. Bye for now. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. If you liked this video and you like my style of tutorials, please give me a follow so that way when I make more videos, you'll be one of the first to see it. So give me a follow, please. Follow Worthington Fine Art. And again, I'm Vera Worthington. Thanks for joining. Bye.